Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Kurewa is here, and today I just want to make some update deck video. So if you are watching this channel before, so you know there's the deck what's it called again? Deck profile on my previous video. So this is update for those deck because of this deck get support in the festival pack and maybe in set 5, but this three deck that I will show you is the deck that gets support from festival pack. So the first of all, it's Bavsargra. So yeah, it's all deck list is on my channel. You can check it down below if you wanted to, and I'll just make it quick and make it like what did I change. So what the gameplay or what the the game plan that we're gonna play with the deck with the new change. So yeah, so first of all, I'm gonna updating my deck. It is the Bavsargra. So the right line is still the same: grade 1 0, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, because well, I think you cannot change this right on all because you need the Ahimsa from the Namokaru to proc. So yeah, you cannot change it. So for right line wash is still the same, and for the card that we bring, everything is basically still the same. Like nothing changed that much because the deck doesn't change that much. Only some card in it that change. So like we still bring 4 PG, and we still bring a lot of what's it called again, the 4 Trick Moon. It's you cannot change this again. The 4 Trick Moon is like necessary because it's how the deck make like a really huge number. And the next one, again the same thing still for Travis because it's still the, I don't know, a lot of people doesn't say that they don't need to bring Travis anymore, which is kind of clown for me. If you don't play Travis on Bavsargra, you're a clown. Why? Because this basically charge your resource. You need the Soul Blast to get the critical, to get the pressure on your Vanguard. So I don't know why people not playing Travis anymore. It's still pretty good card. It's a spot removal. It gives you soul that you need to get 10k boost too, which is really cool. It's really amazing card. And I'm still playing the grade 3, which is in the Adarla. We're still playing this Adarla because again, I don't know, like it just I'm afraid that I cannot I miss the double equipping, and because of that, I'll play Adarla. If the set 6 card come out, I'm probably gonna try that. But as for now, Adarla is still in the deck because it still helped me sometime to equip the sword in the order. So yeah, it's pretty good card still. So still playing 3 of it, and we're still playing the same grade 3, which is persona riding. We're still on the same. So everything in here is still the same. The only thing that different was the trigger ratio and some order ratio. So the order ratio, we still bring 4 of the spear, and I bring 2 of the sword and 1 of the shield. If you see my deck profile, I use the gun for a meme, but now I'm bringing this thing because this is better. I only bring 7 order. I see people in the BRO playing 6. Understandable because order is kind of bad. You don't want too much in your hand, so you better bring less and bring more unit. But bringing less order, that means you have less chance to equipping 2 of them. So I still on the 7 ratio because I think it's the best ratio for now, because you always open up with the spear or at least the sword, so you have the shield to search and you can use the Adala to equip it. So I bring 7 orders still. So yeah, if you want to decrease it, that's fine, but for now I'll bring 7 order. So yeah, and for mass though, this is the only change that really matter. So basically bringing from the new grade 2 from the festival pack, Shieldless Maiden Ahusya, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Aushinya, I don't know, that's the name. I don't know how to pronounce it. So I see a lot of people bring 4 copy of this. I only bring 3 because I'm still real like Travis, so I only bring 3. So what this card does is basically when you call it and you have like 2 equipped, this card got 10k, and you can counter +1 and revive your Trick Moon or the another great one that new from the deck or anything else if you wanted to bet that point. So yeah, it's pretty basically free 10k, and if you want to revive Trick Moon, you can have it. So we will bring 4. I think 3 is the perfect ratio because you don't want to see this pretty often, because you know, like sometimes you doesn't want to see this. You want to see the Travis more than this for me when I play this deck, because I want to soul charge, I want to spot removal. But if your like local doesn't have any deck that needs spot removal, aka Magnolia or Flagberg, you can run more of this, which is pretty good because it's got free 10k. If you on personal it's 30k actually. This why the deck is, and the card is really good. So yeah, 3 copy of the new triple array from Festival pack. It's really good card. If you want to bring 4, bring 4, but I only bring 3 because I think it's the best ratio for my deck. And the brace, in the new Great one we have Seedless Dragon Samsara. This card is okay, it's not amazing or anything like that, but it's just really good card for me. I really love this card because it's basically 13k when you have to equip it, and you can just basically become 13k booster. It's just kind of big, but most of the time why I use this because you can basically got 13k in the front, and if you personalize is 23k, and you got intercept too, which is kind of cool. And I don't like it. It's better than the I forgot her name, the dragon that get the same thing. It's got 13k boost, but it doesn't have the intercept. This one is almost the same as that card, but it have the intercept, which is cool. So yeah, it's 2 copy of this. And another change on the deck is the trigger ratio. So obviously still 1 over trigger, that's just we need to play that sadly. So yeah, 3 in the crit. I don't have the 4th one, so yeah, if you have 4, please bring 4 because this goes to the soul, and sometimes you need the soul. So 4 the crit, so it's 7 crit now. I'm not bringing 8 crit anymore, so now I'm bringing 7 crit and 4 draw. Why? Because the deck need a piece badly. Especially my deck list need a piece, so I'll bring in 4 draw now. You can bring only 3 because back then I always bring 3 too, but now I bring 4 because the deck really need more resource. So yeah, bringing 4 of this because it's 10k shield. You have to bring this, I think, because it's have bigger shield than the normal draw. So, and for the heal, this is kind of more like what's it called again? It's more like experiment for me. So I'll bring the normal heal, the resistance heal, the crit heal. You can change this. I just do this for some experiment. Because in my local there's people that playing the standard deck, like I don't know, Flagberg and Magnolia, and not Magnolia, it's Flagberg and Greedon. So if you have those decks, it's become 25k, which is kind of good. Even though it's never pull off, this heal never pull off that much, so you can just bring this the vanilla one, 2 of them. It's fine, and this is because a lot of deck now have like native crit, so this actually work really well, like really well. Even though in Piero, which I joined like 2 weeks ago, if I bring 2 of the heal, I might win some match on my Flagberg, so it's kind of sad. But well, yeah, it is what it is, right? So yeah, bring this too because a lot of deck now have like additional crit like PBO and some stuff. So yeah, that's become really good shield for you. So yeah, 4 shield trigger. That's for Bavsargra update. And for the next deck, the updated deck is gonna be Greedon. Greedon have some really unique support from Festival Pack, so yeah. So this update is for the Greedon. So we obviously still playing the normal right lines, the grade 0, grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. I think it's just good with this. I like whenever I flip my grade 0 SP, it's like, oh, okay, you play Greedon. This deck has become real kind of bit better than before, and it's kind of surprising that in APRO was freaking Greedon, man. That's just insanely cool. So yeah, the right line is still the same, and for the change, it's not changed that much. Again, it's only 2 cards that changed from it. But before we go into that card, I'm gonna show you what we usually bring. So we're still bringing 2 copy of Muka because this is your enabler. The card become better because of new support, because you basically can call some card that you on the drop with him, so it's become better, slightly better. And next one we have the great one, the frog, the Tridevil Incane. I'm not really trusting with Incane, but I don't know why in the first place on VRO they play Greedon, play 4 of this. I'm not really sure why. I don't agree with that because this is like consuming way too many CB, and you need those CB for using more other better card. But so yeah, I don't know why, but for now bring 2 because I'm not really believing on this frog. And the next one, which is another card that I'm not decreasing, because in the deck list of the BRO number, the Greedon player from BRO, they only bring 2 copy of this rabbit, which is kind of sad. It's like Bubetsu is really good. It's if you have 10 soul you draw, you can call anything, and especially with the new card, it become really good card because you don't need to like worry about soul that much. If especially if you use the Muka combo with the what's it called, the rabbit again. I'm gonna call it rabbit because I don't know the name. So the Bubetsu again. So yeah, I don't know. They only bring 2, which is kind of weird. I don't really like that. So I'll still bring it 4 for now. But again, if in the future the set 6 come, this deck gonna change a lot because there's a lot of good support from Greedon from set 6. So yeah, 4 of the rabbit. We're still bringing 4 of the cannon. It's just, well, what can I say? This deck become better because of the new support too. Because back then, if you call cannon, it's gonna scare that you gonna call your Greedon and just put it in drop, and that card is lost forever. Or you're gonna call like Bushoku and then just go to drop, and then you're gonna lost it forever on the second turn. Now you can just call it on rushing mode, because like on grade 2, call him and just spamming, you just make your field, and then you don't need to worry if you call something like Bushoku or call something like Greedon on the drop. Is now you can recover this card now because of the new support. So yeah, still bringing 4 of the cannon. And obviously bring 3 of Bushoku. You want the attack boost, that's just, you know, the thing. And you need to bring the personal right, of course. And here comes the change on the deck. So on the deck change with this new support. So I'm not agreeing with this card being 4 copy, but I'll try it for now. So this is the fun. So what this card does basically, if it's called from the hand, you can soul charge too. It's just kinda unnecessary. The deck have Draconic Out problem, so the soul charge thing is really unnecessary, and you can only use this on Greedon, which is kinda sad. But the second skill, if you have 2 Greedon in soul, counter +1, it got critical. Again, it's really unnecessary, but somehow on the Greedon player on the NA that got first managed to win with 4 of this, which is kind of really cool for some reason. I personally doesn't like this card because again, the deck have a lot of soul charge, soul charge, I mean decking out problem, and you cannot use the soul charge, you can use this for the critical, but it's kind of counterintuitive with the deck, because the deck want to put the 4 regard to the soul, and you usually only leave with 1 of this. You cannot even call this to have crit and just attack on the next turn. No, you usually only left with 1 of this, and if you successfully use the rabbit to call off this, which is really rare to happen, because it's, if you're real lucky and have the, okay, that's kind of cool. So you find out attack and it is still gonna get counter blast, get critical, but that means you need to sacrifice 2 counter blasts for critical. I know it's not bad, but it's kind of unnecessary for now. But I will try it for copy for now. But if I feel not fit, I'm just gonna cut this, because I don't know. I don't really like this one actually. So yeah. But on the bright side, this card is better than that tough one for some reason. And I hate that people doesn't like this, even though this card is amazing on this deck. So the Sire Devil Sito. You have to play this on Greedon now. I must say you have to, because how the deck play and everything else, like Sito helped the deck so much. So on normal perspective, what this card does basically just put the card from drop to in the soul. It's not that busted, but in the Greedon, it become your savior. Why? So whenever I play Greedon, the bad thing that gonna happen to you is like damage checking your Greedon, or damage checking your Boshoku, which again you need those 2 cards in the soul. So what this card can do is, if you heal this card, you can just put the soul. So you don't need to like sacrifice the persona on your hand on the Greedon, or put the Boshoku on the soul. So you're basically recycling this card that you needed from your damage you cannot retrieve at all, or maybe because all your hand is all piece and you need to discard the Greedon, because again you cannot persona that, and so that card is basically dead. So you can discard it and put it back with Sito, or even better, on the right line, which is the only grade 1 that we bring on the red line only, this card, you can recycle this with him and then call it with Muka, because usually on the first turn that you soul blast, you're gonna soul blast this or soul blast the grade 0. You're not gonna soul blast the Boshoku. That's not gonna happen. Or maybe only the grade 0 and the card that is soul charged because of the skill of the Boshoku put the card to soul. But again, usually the best card that put the soul is another Bavsargra, so you don't want to soul charging soul blasting them. So usually soul blast these two, and you can call it back with Sito, put the soul again, and call back with Muka. So it's kind of really make the deck. You can control the deck better than before with this card. So it's a must-have on Greedon deck now, because I don't know, it's just wonderful card. I hate that people say that this is not a good card. This is amazing in Greedon. Like, god damn, you need to play 4 of this. So yeah. And for other thing here, nothing changed that much. Only same. You bring 4 PG, and you can bring 3. Some people bring 3 for some reason, but because the deck doesn't really need. Now it needs some protection, but because the deck have 7 heals, so you know, it doesn't really that thing. Critical that can go to soul, because the deck, if you get 10 soul, you got another 15, another critical. So we're still playing the dark state a critical thing, because the deck really want that critical now. And still bringing draw, not because again the deck sometimes need a piece, so draw is better than front. Even though the deck have kind of taking out problem, but that's fine. So you can somehow cumulative with it. Offer trigger, obviously with the Galmaga head, critical, permanent critical, then 10k. Like what can I say? And for heal again, I'm bringing the new heal, the critical heal, because there's a lot of deck out there that usually have native crit now. So this card is really amazing for that. And just do heal, and the good new SP heal from the set 5. It doesn't have any shield, but it's okay. You can still have 15k shield. See still, but it looks beautiful without the shield now. Damn, that look cool. So that's the second deck that updated, that I updated from my collection. And the next deck that we have update that I have updated. I'm not gonna show you the trigger of the deck because the video's already got long enough. I don't want to prolong this video. So yeah, I only show you some of the cards that changed in here. So this was gonna be Nirvana, yay! So the red line changed. I'm not using Trickstar anymore, because whenever I go to second and I didn't get that plus, I'm gonna get sad because of it. So I'm not bringing that anymore. So I'm using the surprise egg now, sunrise egg. Okay, yeah, it's still the same right line. You still use Rayu and Reno. So yeah, it's the same right line. Nothing changed that much. For the trigger wise, I will not show you the trigger. But the trigger wise is gonna be 2 draw, 2 front, 7 crit, 4 heal with the 2 critical, and the offer trigger like usual. The reason why it kind of bit rainbow, because the deck kind of need the front a bit, because make it more bigger, because it's just spread evenly. I don't know why. It's make the deck become more stronger if the front comes up, which kind of cool. So yeah, we're using front now in this deck. And for the grade 4, we still use the same thing. Maha Nirvana is still on 4, because again you want to go to the grade 4 and you want to see this on hand, and because of the new card you absolutely want to see in your hand. If you go second, you just go grade 4 first. That's really cool. And for the next grade 1, which is something that I changed from my profile before, so now we're running 3 Ratsuji, because we are more, you can actually discard really good now, because you can just discard your spare idea or any card that you don't need that turn, offer this card that you don't need, and just recover and set on the grade 4 free, which is kind of good, really good. And now we are bringing 4 Trickstar in the deck, because well, we didn't bring the starter first, so we need consistent way to having Trickstar put in the drop or in your hand. So bringing 4 Trickstar, and still the same PG, so we still use the good PG, 4 of them. And yeah, and the new card that changed is, so this is my offered ratio on my Nirvana deck. So I'm still bringing 2 Asparadia. I get it, the deck is really good on grade 4 now. You can bring 4 if you want to, 3 or 4, but I don't know why. Even though the deck is, you know, if you open up with Amelia and the Mahar and you go second, you can just go 4. But I don't know why I'm bringing 2. Bring 2 is fine. It's because sometimes sometimes you can't even go for, you lost Mahar, you have, so you have Amelia but you lost Mahar, you have Mahar but you don't have Amelia, but then you go second. That thing is sometimes happens. So I still bring 2 for now. I will make it 3 if I can find another spare idea, but for now I'm still bringing 2, and well, fine for me now. So yeah, still bringing 2. And another operation unit is Expecta. Now I bring only 2. Expecta is there just for the great turn 3, so you can really big and become scary. So like your opponent be like, okay, sure, I got it with the critical or not. So yeah, that's what Expecta does, and it's for building up for the Expecta. So yeah, that's to Expecta. And this card is not, you're not gonna expect this. So Valiente, haha. I know, before you got angry, why you bring Valiente? This reason is simple. It's on hit pressure on crit 3. Because again, this card is really weird, right? You don't want to run it because if you proc the card skill, you need to counter +1 and discard card, which is not good. That's too much of resource for standing, and it doesn't get any additional power or anything like that. So, but because of the deck play, and if you go to Mahar in the second turn, this has become like 23 plus 5k or 23 plus 10k, depending on how you play the deck, which is like 33k to your Vanguard, to your opponent Vanguard. And on hit, it withstand, and if you have Esperada, it become more withstander on this, so the deck is become 5 attacking deck. But again, if you are more Esperada, which is better option, if you are on the grade 4, Esperada is better option. But on you, if you cannot go to grade 4 and you on grade 3, Valiente is such a solid choice, and Valiente win me some game too because his on hit pressure actually make my opponent need to throw card from the hand because they just don't want this card to withstand. So I don't know, I just bias on this because Valiente win me several game. So yeah, I bring to Valiente and to Firina. So yeah, it's for the fodder. I'm not rarely calling this, but sometimes I call this because it's basically 30k attacker on your grade 3. If you can use this, if you use the Nirvana skill. And obviously we still bring in the 4 copy of the arcs. Well, you just draw 2. This card is insane. If you have spare CB, you just keep drawing, man. And searching your combo piece, which is really cool. So the only change from the deck is we're not bringing Ximena anymore because I think you don't need it because how the deck play, you don't need Ximena. So we bring in 3 Amelia. I think it's the best ratio for now. Bringing 3, bringing 4 is gonna be too much. Bringing 3 is the perfect ratio because again, you don't want to see it on first turn. If you go first, you don't want to see it. If you go second, then you want to see it. If you go first, it doesn't really do anything. Or maybe if you have 2 grade 4 in your hand, it can damage your opponent twice because it can proc the Mahar skill twice. But other than that, it's not doing that much. So yeah, we only bring 3. The deck become really strong on both turn, which is kind of amazing. So yeah, that's the 3 deck lists that are upgraded. So we have Greedon with their own support, and we have Bavsargra with no support, and again we have the boy, the Nirvana, with his new support from the festival collection. So all this deck is really good now. Actually, Bavsargra become 3 attacking deck that constantly reaching 50k attack or 62, just really strong 3 attacking deck with really big number for some reason, and critical too. Greedon become more controllable. Back then Greedon is really uncontrollable. You can lose every single piece because it's going to drop and you cannot get it back, but with Sito it become better, and it can have kind of crit pressure too with the Dofan. So yeah, Nirvana become more better crit for deck because you can skip crit, which is kind of cool. And if I get another Esperada, I will absolutely bring in 3 Esperada. But for now, I'll only bring in 2. But the deck become really good crit 4. It's the best crit 4 deck now because it just can shade it out and go to 4. Wish Bruce can do that. Counter plus 2 and final rush. But for now, that's all the deck update that I will give to you. And thank you guys for watching. And I might gonna make some duel video if I can. It's not duel fight video, probably. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching my video, my deck profile and everything. And see you again next time. Bye bye.